How do everybody? It's Nige back here again with another inbox review, and today we're going to be looking at Hobby Boss F105 Thunder Chief in 148. Now I've been wanting to do an F105 for quite a while. Not only is it a cool scheme and a cool aircraft, but I built one, I have an Airfix or a Rebel kit when I was a kid, and I didn't do a very good job on it. So I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, just never got around to get one. So without further ado, we'll put on the overhead and we'll have a look at the sprues. So just 2 minutes. So we're going to start with the actual instructions as we normally do, and with normal typical Hobby Boss, it's in a black and white booklet type scheme. Okay, with a separate colour call outs. So as you can see, the nice mock shot on the front with a MiG-21 from the Vietnamese Air Force, because this would have been Vietnam. So I'll open it straight away, and we've got the sprue map, the colour in Mr. Hobby, Aquarius, Vallejo, Molten Master, Tamiya and Humbrol. And as with all or most aircraft, we start with the cockpit, moving on to the engine with this one. This kit is designed to have the engine on show. Onto the gun, okay, which then gets mounted into the body of the nose, the wheel wells, the front wheel well, the tail section, so that's where the exhaust comes out of, the main undercarriage, and then putting the front part of the fuselage together with the nose, the cockpit and the engine, wings, flaps and all that sort of stuff going together. So right and left wing, and then doing the radar on the nose, okay, and then putting this ring, this ring and this rear part actually onto the fuselage. Now, because this is designed to be on and off, it's not a very good fit around that sort of area. So these bulkheads, this one here, if you leave off, I believe it fits together a lot better. But we'll cover that when I get around to building it. Moving on to the tail, and then attaching everything like the dangly bits. We've got all the wheels and stuff like that going on, and then the full aircraft there. And then we've got some of the bombs, rockets, fuel tanks, all going onto the underwing pylons down there. Move on to the paint call out. So two paint call outs, or two versions down there. So one with a nice naked lady on the nose, and then the other one which is basically the same call out, but it's just a different squadron or unit. So those are your two versions. So again, it's in the three-tone camouflage. So yeah, should be a good build and look like a striking aircraft once it's done. So moving on to the sprues, and the first one I've got out of the box is Sprue H. So this is some of the weapons, and as accustomed with a lot of Hobby Boss kits, some nice detail, which I'm hoping you can just see on some of these parts here. Okay, two parts with what looks like separate parts for the actual the other fins. Okay, so the two parts of the bigger rockets, which should go together. A little bit of flash, but nothing majorly to write home about, as you can see just there, hopefully, just be near my finger. So that's one sprue. Next one, looking at the actual massive, well, they are quite big actually, what looks like a ventral fuel fuel tank and 2 wing fuel tanks. Again, some nice detail, some nice crisp scribing on the tail and on the actual tanks themselves. Now we go into parts of the kit. So I believe this is the tail, and as you can see, there's some really nice detail on there. Maybe a little bit heavily overdone, but once you've got a few coats of paint on it, decals and all that sort of stuff, it should look really nice. And there we've got the control surfaces. Okay, so they look really, really nice on there. One of the wing sections, again, some really nice rivet detail, some nice panel lines, all the control surfaces, wheel wells, some nice detail in there, tail surfaces, okay, leading edge slats, and the actual wheel covers, okay, which might need some work depending on how they stand out, the injection pin marks. But again, no real flash to write home about. Looks really nice. The main fuselage, and as you can see, that's even without the tail on or the nose. It's going to be a really big aircraft. So this is just like that, is 30 centimeters long. Okay, we've got the intakes, again, some nice detail all over it, and again, no flash to write home. Some nice raised detail for the cockpit, just there, some of the switches, and the cockpit tub, again, some of the switches just in there, and the nose looks really nice. Everything on the inside, again, some more of the control surfaces on the inside of the fuselage. But again, we might need to look at getting rid of these injection pin marks. So this one's made up of the engine. So this engine comes in 2 parts. Not many dangly bits on there, so you've got your 2 parts there. Okay, so this should build up to look like a nice looking engine, but obviously you can add more detail. I believe these are bits for the internal wall, maybe the internal part of the engine attached on somewhere, which we'll have a look at when we come to build it. Refueling probe, the gun. Okay, so we've got the gun parts there, and the actual radar. Again, some more parts of the engine, so it's nicely done. Don't get me wrong, I probably won't be doing anything with the engine apart from the nozzle and maybe the internal of it, the inside of it. Okay. The rear of the fuselage section, okay, again, some nice detail. 2-part wheels, no weight on wheel. Okay. Yeah, then we've got a little bit of what looks like texture on them, but it probably won't be noticeable. These are the petals that open out on the engine. Nose wheel, instrument panel, and we've also got parts of this seat here as well. Now, I don't know what that bit. That's probably the goes over the instrument panel. Made to look like some sort of material, which really it doesn't work. I'd rather they just mold that smooth, and then we can do something with it if we so wished. Okay, there's that bit. We have one more part sprue, but we've already seen this one. This is for the other wing. We have got the clear parts, which I'll just open now. over there. Okay, nice looking clear part, no seam over the cockpit. And what I like to see, you see how we've got the smooth part, that's a clear part, and then this bit, okay, going around the outside, that's foggy. So there's a texture on there, so your paint takes it a lot easier. So that'll be really easy to mask, really simple, and it should look really good once painted. And last but not least, it's the decals. I need a sharper knife. I've got another one somewhere, but I just can't bother to find it at the moment. So we've got the naked lady, which I'm not going to get out, okay, for the nose, and then we've got the actual other part of the, so the lettering, the seam for O round the cockpit, which as you can see is all one, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, like you can just see that. Okay, so we're going to have to think about that. That's probably going to have to get painted, truth be told, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And then we've got some for the actual probably the bombs and what have you and all that sort of stuff, and decals for the instrument panel, which we won't be using. So that's Hobby Boss's F105D Fun Achieve. Looks like a nice kit. Again, it's meant to be built open. So with the engine out, the nose open, the gun open, all the slats and flaps down and stuff like that. So it might take a bit of building if you want to build it all as one. Okay, so be prepared for that. But on the plus side of that, with the recessed rivets and panel lines, because they are quite prominent, it's going to be fairly easy not to get rid of them, if that makes sense. So when you're doing your seam lining and what have you, you should be able to put them back on really easy. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.